We are the elite.
It's a massive axe she is swinging.
My game plan is to win.
What do you mean?
Look at that block. She's going for the drive.
It's become very competitive.
Wow, look at that. What a cut. Holy cow.
I played college basketball, I played college sports, and it doesn't quite compare to doing timber sports. The concepts are based off of traditional old logging. We're using crosscut saws, we're using axes.
It's not an easy race by any means. I couldn't tell you who's gonna win this year.
Another grudge match battle right here at the Milwaukee German Fest.
Erin Lavoie and Martha King are tough to beat.
Defending U.S. champion Erin Lavoie comes into this competition riding a wave of momentum. Fresh off her victory at the 2023 International Women's Cup in the Netherlands, where she bested the top female athletes from around the world.
I want to compete in a way that I leave feeling very satisfied and that I don't have any regrets moving forward.
This could be the closest race of the day.
It's almost sad that when I compete and I win, I love it, but I so quickly just take in, how could I have done that better? What would I have changed? How can I do better at the next one?
There's nothing like being on the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS stage. The music, the noise, the pressure, the fans. This is an elite stage. The women this year are so strong. The strongest I think that they've ever been. You have to bring your A game.
This is absolute power.
Hello and welcome to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the 2023 STIHL TIMBERSPORTS U.S. Women's Championship. I'm Tommy Sanders here with Kevin Holson. Kevin, the 12 best in the country are here, and I know you would agree with that. Let's talk about the incredible athletes we're about to see in action today and the changes we've seen in this event in the last few years that have really taken it to the next level.
Yeah, the level of competition has just stepped up every year, and one of the biggest step-ups was the addition of the standing block chop. We were only doing 3 disciplines, we now have 4. Standing block is nothing to shrink away from. Now that we're seeing more women's events around the country cutting the standing block, these times are melting. The incentive is there to train, the incentive is there to win and take home that prize money purse. It will be a standing vertical piece of timber, and our women competitors have just absolutely obliterated the times every single time they step to the stage. Speaking of times and stepping to the stage, we've got to talk about Erin Lavoie. She was our champion last year, took a couple years off from being the champion, but was our champion 4 years ago. And this has kind of been a baton pass between Erin Lavoie and Martha King for the past 4 championships. So it's been a really just a slugfest between these two competitors. Erin is coming in after some really tremendous performances around the country, as is Martha King. So these two really are going to be our front runners in the field of 12 competitors. That said, there are 10 other competitors, prime athletes in this field. Several of them really are laser focused on the championship.
Oh, yes. So this one's far from decided at this point right now, but we're going to have fun finding our winner at the end of the evening. Here comes our first event, Head-to-Head Motorsports. To tell us more about the stock saw, here's the Ace Hardware Tools of the Trade.
Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
Taking a look at how we got our time to beat in the stock saw. In the first heat, Kelly Kerrigan would take on Julie Miller, and Kerrigan would set the time to beat at 13:06.
Kelly Kerrigan, 2 clean discs.
Felt like a good clean cut. I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'm in the right headspace for now, so pretty happy with that start.
Next, Kate Page faced off against Lindsay Dawn.
My name is Kate Page. I'm 32. I live in Heppner, Oregon, and I'm a wildland firefighter. For stock saw, it's just keeping that rhythm. I mean, I use the saw every single day for work. I'm comfortable with the saw, but I tend to get a little rambunctious in stock saw, and I've DQ'd 2 of the years I've been here at the Steel Series in it. So for me, it's making sure I stay within that 4 inches, and I just make sure when I step up for stock saw, it's a deep breath, calm down, and do what I've been practicing.
Look at that time on the left, sub 13 seconds. Kate Page has to be psyched about that.
And it would be Page taking the heat and setting the time to beat with a 12.73.
Heat 3 of the stock saw, Kate Witkowski and Emily Brown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Very nice up and in for both these competitors. Emily Brown on stand number 1, a very thin disc. But you know what? The old saying, thin to win. That's less side pressure on those plates on that chain. And Witkowski with a very thin second cut.
Emily Brown taking the lead, 12-1-5.
My name is Alexandria Miller. I am 30 years old and I am from Alden, New York. I came here to do the best that I can. I'm coming off of just giving birth 6 months ago, so I have my son here and my husband to cheer me on, and I'm just grateful to be here and to have my family support me and give it all I got.
Next up, veteran Nancy Zaleski would take on Alex Miller. And it would be Miller taking the heat, but her sub 14-second time would not be enough to take the top spot.
My name's Hannah Quigley. I'm 25 and I'm from Honeoye Falls, New York.
I am Erin Lavoie. I'm 41 from Spokane, Washington. I own a CrossFit gym there. We're coming up on, I think it's 12 or 13 years old now, and I'm trying really hard to become a firefighter at home.
The stock saw discipline is mentally demanding. When I go out to compete, I'm thinking about where my line is, where my body is, and making sure that everything I do is smooth. I'm not trying to be fast, but I know if I'm precise, then that'll come with it.
I'm excited about stock saw this year. I've been really breaking it down and putting it back together. There's a lot more focus in different areas of the stock saw instead of, please just make a good cut.
Fifth heat of the stock saw, Hannah Quigley and Erin Lavoie.
2 gold medals for Erin Lavoie. Looking for a third here in 2023, and Hannah Quigley, most definitely one of our up-and-comers. Made the medal stand last year in 22. Having some great performances in other disciplines as well during the course of this year. We'll get to that, especially when we talk about the standing block, but definitely one to watch.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very clean runs for both these athletes to the block. Oh, we've got a great race going on here, folks. Very clean runs to the block, very clean transitions. It is Quigley just edging out Lavoie. Put a little bookmark in that heat, because this could come into play when we start talking about trophies and championships and whatever. Hannah Quigley was that bronze medal, was in the bronze medal position last year. Erin Lavoie, our current champion. So 2 of the top in the field there just went head to head with Quigley besting Lavoie.
Hannah attacked that stock saw. Beautiful cut. Tell us about it.
Well, stock saw is an event that I was really excited about in college. It was my event going through. Last year was a big year. I ended up DQing it in the qualifier, and ever since that happened, I've been training that event really hard, asking the best at it, breaking it down into really small pieces that I never really fine-tuned, and I'm happy to say I did that on stage today.
Hannah Quigley's 12.25 is good enough for second place, and Lavoie's time of 12.65 puts her just behind in third, heading into our final heat featuring Samantha Graves and Martha King. Here's a look at Martha King's professional life outside of lumberjack sports.
37. So I work for my family's company, Chad's Ford Tree Service. My parents started it in 1980, and as arborists, we are specialists in the care and maintenance of trees.
Good.
It's been an adventure the whole way along, but having your children involved with you it's tremendous. I would love for her to operate the business with her brothers, but I think she can be much more than that. I'd like to see more of a career in what she has started with the timber sports and then take it a step further. I just think she wants to do the very best at everything she does. She wants to be the best. Again, she can do anything pretty much.
Well, I guess you could say that my job relates to timber sports in the fact that it is so deeply rooted in traditional practices of forestry that I'm out there every day. It is all connected, and so I can constantly be training.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber.
I know that there are a lot of hungry athletes who want the #1 spot, but I've got to keep things in perspective. I love this sport. It's a passion of mine. Yes, it's also a career of mine. I'm definitely a very competitive person. I have a strong desire to win. I want to beat somebody when they are at their best. There is no way I'm going to stoop low to try to make them mess up, by getting in their head. So yes, I suppose I am very sweet, but I also have an inner beast mode, but it's, I think, one that is more respectful. So I'd say that I'm a combination of sweet and deadly.
Final heat of the stock saw Samantha Graves and Martha King.
Martha King won back-to-back championships, 2019 and 2021. We did not compete in 2020.
See there, she is our national record holder, 11.01 seconds.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
See the difference in stance between Samantha Graves on the near side and Martha King on the far side. Oh, Martha's getting very thin on the bottom of that log. I think she's got enough. She held it together. So here's that run on stand number 2, Martha King, and you'll see the nose of that bar just get ever so close to the outside edge of that disc.
Martha, this is your disc awfully, dangerously thin at the bottom of that cut. Tell us how you stay focused when you know it's getting that thin, because you want to be thin, correct?
You want to be thin to win, that's right. And when I got started in my cut, I thought this will probably be okay. And then I thought, oh man, that's actually kind of skinny. And too many thoughts rolling through my mind, but I focused on just steering it under a little bit.
I want to hold this disc up and turn it towards the camera so we can. That's professionalism, because we saw you knew it was thin, but you really kept your head in it.
I did my best to keep my head in it. I know it's a bit slower when you have to steer it, but I'm so grateful that it was a complete disc, and onward and upward to the next one.
Yeah, well, that's why you're the national record holder. Big round of applause all the way from Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, Martha King.
Martha King's time now official at 12.58 and has her in 3rd place after the completion of the stock saw discipline here. Discipline number 1. Hannah Quigley in 2nd place and taking top points, 12 points. Emily Brown of New York, 12.15. Erin Lavoie, our defending champion, rounds out the top 4 with a 12.65. Samantha Graves on that one, a 12.87, has her in 6th place.
We're ready for our second discipline of the day. To tell us more, here's the Duluth Trading Discipline Review.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
Taking a look at how we got our time to beat in the standing block. In Heat 1, Lindsay Down takes on Kelly Kerrigan, and it would be Kerrigan winning the heat with a time of 42.28. Heat 2 featured Alex Miller and Julie Miller, and it would be Alex taking the heat with a time of 36.60. Kate Page would take on Nancy Zaleski. This event plagued Page last season.
So the standing block is still a newer event, and I know there's a lot of women out there who are really nervous about hitting the stand, and obviously I'm proof of that for doing it at the Steel Series last year. I practice it enough. I know how to do it. It's just making sure I come out and do it and stay out of my headspace.
Kate Page has about a 2 to 3 hit advantage. Kate Page, look at that block. Page has an absolute melon. She's going for the drive, driving the near. That's a massive axe she is swinging. It's moving. Wow, what a cut. Holy cow.
And it would be Page setting the time to beat with a 35.42.
My name's Emily Brown. I'm 27 and I work in a log yard, but on the off time I'm working on a farm. Working outside, I have a pretty physical, intensive job, and moving 50-pound bales every day for 10 hours a day really makes a difference.
In the next heat, Emily Brown would take on Hannah Quigley.
Emily Brown sticking with it, and she's happy. She won the stock saw, coming back with a great cut in the standing block chop.
And it would be Brown taking the heat and setting the time to beat at 33.97. Chasing Emily Brown's top time of 33.97, next up, Kate Witkowski would be taking on defending champ Erin Lavoie.
And it is Witkowski around first. Witkowski with a half swing ahead. Witkowski got that chip out. That's the hard part. Then she can go to the races. Lavoie now has the chip out. Witkowski into the small wood, a small scoop on the far side. Witkowski will have to recover at the 30-second mark. Driving the near Lavoie, though.
And it would be Lavoie taking the heat and setting the time to beat at 33.42 with one heat remaining, featuring Martha King and Samantha Graves.
I think the competition here this year is the best there's been so far in the women's division. So I'm just looking to go into it, do everything I've been doing in practice. I work for a tree company, so I have a regular, full-time job, and then I also bartend at night. So I have a little less time than I would like to train, but I, make it a priority in my free time. Almost 5 years ago now, my husband had a really bad accident in the sport, and he actually almost didn't make it. His leg's now paralyzed, so that was a really hard time seeing an injury like that in the sport. And I took a couple years off after that. And so the last 3 years is me coming back to the sport and really giving it my all. I mean, he's back in the sport now, actually. Even with the injury and the lack of use of his leg, he's still competing now. So we train together, every night that I'm out there practicing. He's a coach for a college team, so he coaches me a lot.
Heat 4 of the women's standing block, Samantha Graves and Martha King.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Samantha Graves very quick on that go into the log. What a great swing, what a clean cut from both of these athletes. Look at how flat and smooth that cut is from Martha King. One missed hit, one stepped hit, but an extremely clean front face there for Martha King. Samantha Graves, though, not waiting around as she wades into the backside of this block, attacking those corners, reaching to the far. There you can see she's attacking the near, looking for it to spin on her. One in the guts. It is going to be Samantha Graves taking down our two-time champion, Martha King. What a tremendous chop here in Milwaukee. Here's a look at the work that Samantha Graves did in the front side of that log. She had the discipline to cut her log. Out of your peripheral vision, you could tell, like, oh man, my competitor's around already. I should probably be getting around. Cut your log, play your game, work your plan.
Just absolutely a lesson in discipline. You stayed in the front. You know that Martha's around before you. You stayed in the front, and it just paid off in the back. How do you stay focused when you know your competitor is around? How do you just know, look, I'm going to stay and do my job?
I know if you don't put in a good, clean front face, the back's not going to matter because you can't get through the front. What if it's still sitting there? So
you don't really know the word off season, do you? You train year round. I hear you train with Hannah Quigley, you train with your husband, and you train throughout the winter in your barn. And you really have to do that now in this Timber Sports women's division, don't you?
yeah, we were out there 4 nights a week probably. We built a barn so that we could practice year round. So.
All right, single buck coming up. We'll let you catch your breath. Hey, that's our leader right there, Samantha Graves. Big round of applause. 30.02.
Samantha Graves' performance in the standing block is our John Deere power play. Nothing runs like a deer.
Samantha Graves could take it. A comeback from Graves. Yes! Holy cow, 30.02. Samantha Graves, we have a new world record.
Graves' time of 30.02 is a new women's standing block world record. Congratulations to Samantha Graves. Samantha Graves, with a world record time of 30.02, takes the win in the standing block. We are halfway through competition, and Samantha Graves' win in the standing block moves her from 5th to 3rd in overall points. Just ahead of her, Emily Brown and Martha King sit atop the leaderboard, tied in overall points. We're ready for our third discipline of the day, and it's a total body workout, a sprint to exhaustion. Here comes the single buck.
Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
Coming off a world record-setting performance, Samantha Graves faces Julie Miller in the single buck.
Single buck might be my weakest event, but I've been working really hard on that. I just got a new saw, so I'm hoping that helps me, and that I can, still put down a good cut.
Graves into the big wood right now. Miller just getting into the big wood. Here comes Graves in the bottom third, another hang. That wedge in there just releasing the pressure. That is allowed in the small wood, and there goes Samantha Graves around 21 seconds.
Next up, troubles for Kelly Kerrigan in the bottom half of the log as she takes on Kate Page.
Kelly Kerrigan, though, runs the nose of that saw all the way in. Drops the nose off. There's that hang-up we were talking about in the last heat. She is going to be unhappy with that cut.
Next, Emily Brown, who sits in second place overall, takes on Kate Witkowski.
Brown absolutely cutting perfect. Look at the wood coming out of Emily Brown. Might give a slight advantage to Emily Brown if she can hang on. Kate Witkowski coming out strong in the bottom. Kate Witkowski, though, finally, look at that. 18-7 for Witkowski, catching her breath.
Going to be Kate Witkowski on top. Time of 18.55. Discipline number 3.
Single buck has definitely been, I would say, my weaker event, and this year I think I've learned to put a little bit more pace to the saw, and I don't know if it's just mom strength or what, but I do feel a little bit stronger in that event.
Single buck is definitely a technical event. It's hard to not overthink. Compared to the other women, I'm pretty small, so my technique does have to line up with the speed.
Fourth heat of the women's single buck. Give it up for Alex Miller and Hannah Quigley.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both saws absolutely dead level. Look at Quigley exploding on the right side. Miller, though, right with her, absolutely loading the power on. Quigley throwing every muscle in her body at the halfway mark. Miller right with her. Quigley in the bottom third. Quigley with about 2 strokes to go. She can hang on. Will she take the lead? Yes! She's done it. Sub 18 seconds unofficially. The times are dropping. Hannah Quigley winning that heat. Unofficially a 17-9. But what a cut from Quigley and Miller. Smooth, flawless, no hang-ups. That was a race. Oh, you got Hannah Quigley. We're gonna get a quick talk with her. She says she only attacks the standing block. You attacked the stock saw. You attacked that single buck. Talk about it, and you're just reaching times that you hadn't reached in previous years.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I get to work with Dave on my single buck. He's one of the best, if not the best in the sport with the single, and he's really helped me fine-tune that this year. In addition to Nancy, Zalewski, and the two of them have been just huge in crafting that for me. I wasn't a natural sawyer, and I can say I'm really happy with that event, and got my family here today, which is pretty awesome too.
Well, Hannah Quigley perhaps falling a bit short of high expectations in the standing block. Gets a little bit back on that one, a lot back. What a time, 17.75. Yet another personal best right there. And Hannah Quigley moving up in a big way.
E5 of the women's single buck, Erin Lavoie and Lindsay Down.
Taking a look at our Duluth Trading Durability Rewind, Erin Lavoie entered this competition fresh off her win and impressive performance at the International Women's Cup from Rotterdam in the Netherlands.
Make some noise for Erin Lavoie! Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, 16 inches of white pine. It's not gonna take long. Absolutely attacking it, both of these athletes. Down with a flatter saw. Lavoie has the far wood done. Steeper, a slight lead by Down. Gaining Lindsay Down, gaining even more. Can she take it off? One more. Erin Lavoie, slight stroke behind. And now we've got a yellow flag. It does not mean a disqualification. It does not mean that. It means it will be reviewed.
So we have a yellow flag on the stage at stand number 1. That's Erin Lavoie's stand. Again, this is under review. This is not an immediate disqualification. There's just something that got somebody's attention. See, the officials are heading over to the side. They may be watching in the single buck event. About all you could really have for a questionable call would be a jumped gun.
3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, Erin did not seem to have the pace going through that cut, but the form was there, the saw was dropping. I thought maybe for a moment she was gonna stay ahead of Lindsay Down. Tommy, I don't know if it's a good sign, bad sign, whatever, but I haven't seen Rich and Jonathan and our judging staff spend that much time looking at a potential foul, a potential jump gun. I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing.
Okay, unfortunately, stand 1, DQ, the helper touched the saw. Stand 2, good cut.
Well, I didn't see that coming. I thought we were looking at a jumped gun.
Unfortunately, the official ruling is a DQ for Erin Lavoie. Athlete assistants are not allowed to touch or maneuver the saw while the contestants are setting up their cut. She'll receive no overall points for the single buck. Now she faces a tough road to get back in the overall points race.
Yeah, I was wedging for Erin Lavoie there, and before the race, she asked me to move her saw in the kerf. I stuck one finger in the gullet, picked up on the loose end of the saw, we slid it forward, and yeah, that was disqualification. I hadn't heard that rule. I didn't sit in the athletes meeting today. Pretty unfortunate for her to, yeah. I feel for her. I'm pretty sorry.
I got disqualified not based on anything that had to do with my ability of being a competitor, but more so on my second touching my saw. Not helping me at all.
Final heat of the women's single buck, Martha King and Nancy Zaleski.
All right, Martha King. Great position, tied for the lead coming into this after 2 disciplines. And now with one of her greatest rivals seemingly out of the picture for now, Erin Lavoie. Well, that makes her position look a whole lot better. We're going up against Nancy Zaleski.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Final heat, women's single buck. The speed of King, can she keep up with the power of Zaleski? Zaleski, a slight hang on the top. Look at this, King. King's got it if she can keep going. King at the 11-second mark. King is at the 12-second mark. Still going, look at the expression on her face. Can it be done? Wow, is it going to be close? 17-7-5, held by Quigley, looked safe unofficially. It was the high 17s when that disc dropped. Unofficially 18-1-0. Well, Martha, we got a quick word. Actually, we've got you right down here on the monitor. If you wanted to take a look, you just flew. You hit the center so fast. You were halfway, right around the 7.5-second mark, and you just died a little bit in the bottom. Could be some hardwood down there. Didn't stall the saw. Still a great cut. Still, you may be virtual leader right now.
It was a tough cut. Watching all the times before, it looked like it wasn't going to be any world record-setting wood. And I was a little anxious about my saw because it's not quite as free in the nastier stuff. And I just really had to work hard.
Right, because this white pine can vary. You're in the logging business. You're in the tree business. You know logs. You know white pine. You know going up there, this is a soft log, this is a hard log. You just take the hand you've been dealt.
Well, I was looking at the rings and thought, okay, so there's a little bit of red in there, but yeah, what can you do? You just got to run your race, and there's a lot of pressure because the talent here is exceptional. So it's great to compete alongside these women, and I'm so grateful for my coach and my mentor, Mike Esch. He's always there for me.
Taking a look at who will make a move in our John Deere driver's seat leaderboard. Martha King's time of 17.85 just misses Hannah Quigley's top time of 17.75. They finish 1 and 2, followed by Lindsay Down, Kate Witkowski, and Emily Brown. Taking a look at our overall points heading into the final discipline of the day. Mathematically, it's a 3-person race. Emily Brown sits in 3rd place, just behind Hannah Quigley and Martha King, who are separated by just 1 point, heading into the final discipline of the day, the underhand chop.
Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
Heading into the final discipline of the day. In the first heat of the underhand, Samantha Graves takes on Julie Miller.
Drive in the middle, and one more in the bottom. Look at that, 36-4.
And Graves sets the time to beat at just under 36 seconds. Now it's a 3-person race for the overall championship. With an outside chance at the title, Emily Brown steps in to face Lindsay Down. She'll need to post a time under 36 seconds to stay in contention.
2-and-2 pattern is pretty standard here in the underhand with this size timber. That's what seems to be the course of action. Look at the chips falling out of the front side of that log for Emily Brown. Great hit placement. She is disassembling this log very cleanly. 2 into the bottom, 1 back to drive, works her way to the top. She is well past halfway on the top side of that log. It doesn't seem like much happens. Oh, the left side of that, or her left, our right, did not go where she wanted them. Should have gone back and picked that back up, but still a really clean cut. Good face going here for Emily Brown.
An impressive showing for Emily Brown, but she was unable to best the sub 36-second time and is eliminated from title competition.
In the next heat, Kelly Kerrigan would take on Kate Page, and it would be Kerrigan winning the heat with a time of 41.21.
You know, you got a chance to win this.
Got some tricks up my sleeve. Got some good tips this weekend, or really throughout the week. So we'll see. I'm excited. This is a pretty cool moment. But I'm excited for this one. Standing didn't go well, so just gotta bring it. The biggest thing for me is to be brave, to get the axe up really high, and to chop with all the power that I have. I know if I do that, I can perform really well in a race.
Heat 4 of the women's underhand, Hannah Quigley and Nancy Zaleski.
Well, all eyes on Hannah Quigley. She came into this final discipline a single point behind our total points leader, Martha King. This is a very crucial underhand. Could mean big things for Hannah Quigley. Going up against Nancy Zaleski. And this is our 4th of 6 heats in the underhand, our final discipline of the day.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hannah Quigley right there with a go. You could hear her talk about being brave, getting that axe high in the air. She's doing just that, getting all of her core muscles engaged and delivering that axe to the block. Nancy Zaleski on stand number 2, drawing huge chips out of the front side of that log, just laying down giant slabs of wood as she puts in really accurate pairs of hits. Here's Quigley around to the back. What a clean, I think I jinxed her. I was about to say what a clean cut she had going until that one hit stepped in that really pinches that bottom wood. She's going back and kind of picking it back up. It is gonna be a new personal best for her, but I know she'd wanna have the bottom right corner of the back side of that log back. Here's a great look at the backside of Hannah Quigley's chop. There's where it fell apart a little bit over on the drive side, her right-hand side. You can see how clean the chip side is. Each of those hits chasing each other in perfectly, but she lost her way a little bit. That forces her to step in towards the middle. She manages to power through, break through the bottom of that block.
Well, there's a good view of Hannah Quigley's underhand chop. Hannah, yeah, you have to do interviews when you win. What a cut. Does this STIHL Timbersports stage just bring out more in Hannah Quigley?
You know what? Today, I was ready to go. I was so psyched again, having my family here on top of all the accomplishments from last weekend and competing with women who are pushing me to be on. It's just unbelievable. So whatever happens today, I can say I gave it my all.
What a July it has been for Hannah Quigley. Won the Lumberjack World Championship standing block just a few days ago down the road at Hayward, Wisconsin. She is on top now, a new personal best, 35.012 heats remaining in the underhand chop. But one of those heats, the final one, is Martha King's in that one, and she starts with a 1-point advantage going in.
In Heat 5, Alex Miller went up against Kate Witkowski, and it would be Witkowski winning the heat with a time of 37.18.
The underhand is certainly one of my favorite events. I love the chopping events. I love how powerful I feel. I love the strength and the poise and the timing that's required to execute a good chop. The important thing for me is to select the right tool for the job. So there'll be a little bit of testing going into it, and I need to relax again and do what I know how to do. It's chopping wood. I do it all the time in the backyard. One block to another, there might be a few differences, but ultimately, I've got an axe, I've got the block under my feet, and I've got my pattern, I've got my power, got to put it to it.
2 gold medals each for these two, Martha King and Erin Lavoie. Erin Lavoie, a misstep in the single buck has cost her her shot at a repeat this year. She's got the lead going in, and if she can make her personal best, she can take it again for a 3rd gold medal.
1, go!
2 of the best underhand cutters in the nation, if not the world, on stage here in Milwaukee. One with a 1-point lead in overall points coming in, and unfortunately Erin Lavoie is going to be out of it this year. King around the back, but not doing so well. The axe is not liking that block. She got the heel hung under a little bit of a shelf. Not a great cut for King. She has to really turn it on now. She, again, only had a 1-point advantage coming in here over Hannah Quigley, a 32-25 for Martha King. If that time holds, that should put her ahead of Hannah Quigley.
Yes, it would, Kevin.
And while we wait on that official time, let's take a look at the Ace Hardware reset.
An amazing day here in Milwaukee. These athletes have put on an incredible show here today. As always, many high moments and low points throughout the competition. Samantha Graves setting a new world record in the standing block, but also the unfortunate issue in the single buck from our last year's champion, Erin Lavoie. But it looks like today's overall champion will be Martha King. This will be Martha's 3rd national title.
Here's our final standings. Coming in 3rd and taking home a Duluth prize pack, here's Emily Brown. In 2nd, taking home an Ace Hardware prize pack, Hannah Quigley. And winning her 3rd STIHL Timbersports U.S. Championship and taking home the John Deere Gator, Martha King. Congratulations to all our athletes on a historic performance. We will see you next time for the exciting one-man relay competition, the U.S. Trophy Championship.
Scraping the rafters. Showing the field how it is done. That is how you run a single buck cut. First clean cut of the weekend.